something opened up in me, and I just felt like, this is who I am when I'm connected with me, and this is what I've been missing for so long. A language that contains light, it contains messages, it contains codes that go beyond our mental understanding. I got a very clear vision of myself sitting with kind of antennae up into the clouds, receiving information and me sharing that with one person sitting in front of me. And I knew in that moment, this is the Akasha, even though I never had connected with the Akasha before. And for me, channeling is opening yourself up as a channel to receive information from your higher self, from your guides, from spirit, to receive it and to bring it out, bring it forth. Three-Eye Atlas is a part of something bigger. There is more to come. And this is the first fragment.
Our guest today channels beings of light and reads the Akashic Records. And if you have no idea what that means, don't worry, we're going to cover that. But what really drew me to Ankhana's story is that for a long time she felt like something was off, that she was not living her true self, that parts of her were missing. And a lot of us can relate to that. Until everything broke open for her at age 30. And now she is a true bringer of light. She helps people discover parts of themselves that they've lost, that maybe they didn't even realize that they've lost, through coaching, through mentoring, through learning how to channel themselves. And let me introduce you to Ankhana, based here in Ibiza. Welcome to the show, Ankhana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. You are Dutch-born, but Ibiza-based. Been living in Ibiza for how many years?
9 years now.
9 years, and very much embraced by the spiritual community here in Ibiza. So, Ankhana, for many of us who don't really understand how channeling works, how can you explain channeling to us? And let's pretend I'm your skeptical friend at dinner. If you could break it down, what is channeling?
Well, there's a lot of skeptical people around this anyway. And for me, channeling is opening yourself up as a channel to receive information from your higher self, from your guides, from spirit, to receive it and to bring it out, bring it forth. Channeling means there's an input and an output. And in my case, the output is spoken channeling or written channeling. But it can be in music, it can be in dance, it can be in writing, in cooking, whatever works for you. But at least there's an input and an output, and you're receiving from the unseen, or what most people can't see or touch.
To ground that, so talk us through what happened at age 30 for you when everything changed.
So for me, when I was 30, I received my first Reiki session. And Reiki is a form of energy healing where you receive healing, you receive energy through a Reiki practitioner. And the moment that lady touched me, something opened up in me, and I just felt like, this is who I am when I'm connected with me, and this is what I've been missing for so long. Immediately, I knew this is what I want to give to others as well. So I learned how to give Reiki to other people. And once I started my own Reiki practice, my hands started moving around the body and doing things that I didn't understand what was going on. It was a very weird experience. I could feel that it was good, but I couldn't explain what was going on. And I just got a bit lost in knowing that what I was doing was good, but then having questions and not being able to explain it was difficult. And not long after that, I came to Ibiza for the first time, decided to move here 1.5 months later, and I met someone here who taught me how to channel. And with the channeling, with the literally opening up to receive messages from my guides, I started understanding, started to getting the words, the messages, the information about what was happening naturally.
How were you able to discern that from your thoughts? Like, just
For
from your
me,
regular thoughts or any.
yeah, for me, it feels really, it's a really different energy. And this is also something when I teach others how to channel. In the beginning, it's difficult to feel what's mind and what's channel, but you will recognize the channeling as there's different wordings, there's a different energy coming with it. And for me personally, when I channel to spoken channeling, I'm a direct voice channel, so my voice changes when I'm channeling certain beings. So depending on who I channel, my voice changes, and that would, for me personally, be something that I would never choose to do in that way. So that for me is also, I know it's not me. It's something that happens through me, and I allow it to happen in that way.
So for many of us that are trying to learn how to channel, I mean, if I speak from personal experience, I can sit in meditation and feel like I can connect to my true essence, that sort of beautiful, infinite part of me. But I never feel the urge of something wanting to speak through me. Could you talk us through how that happens and what happens in the body and the mind?
For me to channel, and this is, I think, something that's really important, is I choose to open myself up as a channel. I welcome in the guides to speak through me, and I also am able to close it. And I know some people get activated in speaking light language, or get activated in channeling automatically and they're not in control. But I think it's important to know that you are in control and you decide when you want them to come through and when not. And then when I'm meditating, my guides don't all of a sudden come speaking through me, but I go through certain steps of making sure that I'm safe, that I'm protected, that I'm grounded, that I have all of my energy with me. And then I open up my field and I literally ask for the highest possible guidance to flow through me. And after that, the channeling comes.
And do you feel a shift happen in your body? Does it feel, is there a sensation, a tingling?
For me, what happens when I do spoken channeling, and for me, spoken and written channeling is quite different, because with the spoken channeling, I really have the guide speaking through me, and then my head quite often starts to move like this, and I feel something shifting in my body. I feel something happening in my voice box. There's some pressure, and sometimes there's first some sounds that come out, and I recognize my guides by the energy that I feel and the pressure in my throat, and the sounds that come out. The sound of the voice, or the different ways of speaking. I recognize my guides by that. If I do written channeling, I have a less physical sensation, but it's like I'm not thinking much. I kind of go to the background, and the words just come. And I feel the words in a way, and they come out of the pen at the same time. So I have the first few words, but I don't know where my sentence is going until the whole sentence is on paper. So it's not me thinking about what I'm writing.
Right. Is that the same as automatic writing?
There is a difference, but I have to say I've never done automatic writing. I do think that there you also just allow the pen to go and to write whatever comes through. For me, as I'm consciously connecting to my guide, or to the highest possible guidance, it's it's not automatic. There is sometimes there are pauses. There is a connection that comes through. There's something that moves through me. And with the automatic writing, I believe that it's more your subconscious that's coming out.
And who are you channeling? And do you have, you mentioned you connect to your guides and whoever, is it whoever wants to come through, or do you have a regular energy that likes to come through? And who is that?
Learned to always ask for the highest possible guidance, and this is also what I teach. So I don't call upon a specific guide So depending on where I am, what question I'm asking, if I'm channeling for myself, if I'm channeling for someone else, there might be different guides coming through. If I'm channeling for someone else, I might be channeling their guides if they are the highest possible guidance in that moment. But I do have a set of guides that come through often. Um, I don't usually name them. I don't usually label them because I recognize them by the sensations that I get. I recognize them by the sounds that come through, the voices that come through. But if I needed to label them, I know I'm channeling the Pleiadians. I'm connecting with the Arcturians when I'm doing healing sessions. The Syrians are one of the groups that I'm channeling. Also, Goddess Isis, the Egyptian goddess. And she's actually the only one that really shows herself in front of me. I see her before she comes through. So she's actually the only one that I'm 100% sure who it is because of how she shows herself before she connects. And with the others, I sense them. I recognize them by how they feel, but I've never wanted to name them or label them because then my mind kicks in and that's still there's from my thinking mind, I can't understand what's going on. But when I'm just in it, it happens and it flows.
And are they a part of your consciousness? Are they within you or are they outside of you?
For me, I really see all of the guides that I'm channeling as part of my higher self, as a higher self aspect in a different dimension. I've been really thinking about this because I had someone that told me that channeling was bad, that these beings outside of you would make use of my energy and it would drain me and it would be bad for me and bad for others. And they literally shared this with me just before I was supposed to teach another channeling course. So I really sat with that, having to find an answer for that. And I realized that even though I see these beings or I experience these beings, these energies outside of me in a way, like Isis, I see her outside of me. I do feel that in the end we all come from one point, so we all have the same origin, and that just widens the further down we go, so we can have the same higher self aspect high up in the tree, the closer you get to the oneness point or the point of origin. And for me, all these different beings are just part of all those layers, all those dimensions that we have, that we are connected with through our own essence.
I always think that, the reason why a lot of people, I guess, find it challenging to understand how channeling is even possible is because we haven't been educated about what consciousness is or the vast, infinite, breadth of consciousness and the fact that everything is conscious. And
Mm.
so I think that's very hard to then wrap your head around, gods and goddesses and higher selves and guides for a lot of people. But I think we're at a time now where humanity is really awakening to this. Do you find that you see a lot of people coming out of the woodworks with their channeling gifts or with their ability to channel? Because it seems that there is a number of people around the globe that also channel Isis, channeling star seeds. Is this because humanity's waking up or people are feeling more comfortable to share their gifts now that we're more receptive to the idea of channeling?
Think it's a combination. I think the energies are shifting and our physical bodies are shifting with that. And with that, we are becoming more sensitive. And we realize that there's so much more out there. And because more people are opening up about it, others feel more secure, more safe to share about it as well. So it's a multiplying of everything that's happening, and it's available for everyone. Everyone can learn how to channel, and this is always something that people are a bit curious about when I say that for the first time. But we all have this possibility to connect with consciousness, with our guides, with our higher selves, with spirit, however you like to call it. And it's just learning how to do it, and being open to whatever is present is the most important step. But then it's there, and the more we learn about it, like you said before, we haven't been educated about any of this, but now with the internet and with everything that's available everywhere, we can learn about it ourselves once we get our interest into it, in it.
Is there a practice that you would recommend someone that's new to this, just one or a simple exercise they could do to learn to sort of strengthen their ability to channel?
Oof, being open, and being present. And I think one of the things that a lot of people are afraid of when they talk about channeling is that they would connect with something that's dark, or that's not okay, or that's unsafe. So make sure that you put yourself in the light, surround yourself with light, come from a loving place, come from a connection with your heart. Make sure that you're grounded, and from there you are capable of inviting your guides, and making that connection, and allow whatever comes in to come out. Because this is also always a thing for people when they start to channel, to let out what comes in, because it might be scary the first time that you have to put something into words. The first time that I did the channeling course that I participated in, writing was like immediately there. Spoken channeling, I was so scared of opening up my mouth because I could feel so much happening here, and I just thought, I don't know what's going to come out. I didn't channel. I didn't do any spoken channeling on the first course that I joined, because I was too afraid to open up my mouth and to let out whatever wanted to come out. So that took me a while in between a few courses to really practice, and to give myself the space to just find out what happens when I opened my mouth and when the words would come out. And if you don't let out the first word, the rest of the words stay stuck in the channel. You have to let out the first word for the rest of the sentence to come through as well. And sometimes people are just waiting to have the whole idea, the whole sentence, the whole story before they want to speak up, or before they want to start writing. But let out the first bit that comes, and sometimes it comes in drops. Sometimes it's word for word, and then after a time it's sentences. But start and let it out. If it's weird language that you don't understand, which might be light language, a language that goes beyond words, trust it, allow it to flow, and the more you allow, the stronger it will get.
Thank you. On that note, what is light language?
Light language is a language that goes beyond words. It's sounds. It can be very beautiful vocal sounds like singing. It can be like clicking. It can be almost like a hissing. It's a language that contains light. It contains messages. It contains codes that go beyond our mental understanding. So I'm always a bit surprised if people translate light language word for word, because for me light language goes beyond words. It's a light language because it cannot be brought to words. Our words are so limited that yes, you will understand when you're channeling light language, or when you're hearing light language, you will understand the concept or what it is about, or you'll get the general message. But it's not possible to put all of that into words, because it's so much bigger and broader, and there's so much in there that's just not possible to express in our limited wordings.
Right. I did a light language workshop recently where we just got to practice again, just letting whatever wanted to come out in front of someone else, which was very uncomfortable for me. And so I ended up kind of whispering my light language. What is actually happening if I was to continue to do that, just speak my light language on my own, what am I activating for myself?
It really depends what kind of light language it is. the first few times that I heard someone speak light language, I was like, what is that person doing? I really had to laugh about it, and I'm still laughing if it comes through for myself. Because there's many different light language, and some you will resonate with and some won't resonate at all. I have quite a few light language. When someone speaks those, I get like, I really feel a rejection in my whole system. And some light languages just open me up immediately. Some feel very healing, some are kind of neutral. And I'd like to compare it with music. Some people really resonate with classical music, and that opens them up, and other people can't listen to it because it makes them restless. So there's different types of sounds, different types of languages, light languages, that will do certain things to you. And some languages are there to kind of broaden your understanding. Some are really healing. Some are maybe just making sure that some things get loosened up. It's really depending on the language and the setting and the person that it's receiving and what's needed in the moment. You can't just say light language is this and that's the purpose of it. It's depending on the language and what is needed.
Would you encourage everyone to start to play around with light language?
Yeah. If you have the feeling that you wanna connect with it and you feel like that's something that is for you, play around. Make sure that you know what you're doing. Make sure that you know what you're doing and that you are able to open and close it. So, like I said before, I've had quite a few people that were activated in light language out of the blue, and it would just come in moments, even in moments where it wasn't really suitable, or and they weren't in control. It would just come and it would take them over, and there would be like this rambling of word, not words, of sounds and stuff coming through, and they were just like, they were channeling, but no idea what was happening and no idea how to work with it. So I think knowing how to open yourself, and also knowing that you are able to say no, I'm closing everything off now. I'm now just enjoying myself, and I'm just allowing you when I feel there's the time and the space and whatever for it. And sometimes I can feel light language coming through when I'm driving in the car, and I feel all of a sudden, and then I'm in the car and it's just coming out, and I'm always
Mm.
curious what it's go. I feel it's maybe just a clearing of the space that I'm driving through, or there's something happening there. Sometimes it's for me, sometimes it's for my surroundings, and I allow that because I feel in that moment it's good, it's needed. But not knowing how to open and close your channel, I think that is something that you need to be mindful of, because then you don't know what you're letting um, in the moments that you're not like consciously working with it.
You have a favorite quote. I'm going to read it out. Is what I'm doing today getting me closer to where I want to be tomorrow? How do you use this quote to help with your clients that you have, but also for yourself? Is there a recent situation where you've had to kind of make a difficult decision based on asking yourself that question?
I haven't had any big decisions made on that one recently, but it's in the little things. Like, I know that I feel much better if I do my daily practice. If I take every day, I take some time for my meditation, and I'm mindful about what I eat, and I go out walking every day, and I stretch my body. And there's a few things that I like to do on a daily basis, because when I do that every day, my whole energy is completely different than when I'm not doing it. So this is something for me, like, if I want to feel good tomorrow, I should be doing this today. If I want to keep continuing opening up, and if I want to continue to lift myself and to stay in that connection, this is what is needed. And the time that quote came to me was when I was working as an au pair in Brazil, and I was working for this family, and I was supposed to be there for 6 months, and I was really having a hard time. And I was just like, why am I doing this? And then this quote came, and I thought, is this helping me to where I want to be tomorrow? It's like, no, I'm just staying because I made a promise to stay for 6 months, but I'm unhappy. This is not the work that I want to be doing. And yes, I love to be in Brazil. And probably if I quit here, I have to go back to the Netherlands. But it's not helping. So I actually quit the job early and went back to the Netherlands and then started my Reiki practice. So because that was what I wanted to do.
It's a really powerful question to ask yourself, I think, for many of us. And
Mm.
it does change when you answer that question. It would change many of your decisions that you make that day. So I really love it too. On the note of guiding principles, on Instagram you're very active. You're always sharing these nuggets of wisdom, and which
Mm.
I really, really love. Now, after however many years, at least 10 years of channeling, what are your kind of life guiding principles? You mentioned the non-negotiables about your morning practices. Do you have any sort of significant guiding principles or non-negotiables that you live by?
Well, daily practice, I know it's really good for me, and then I can do that for months, and then at some point I kind of move away from it, and then after not doing it for a while, I realize again why I was doing it every day. So then I come back to it. But I think the most important thing for me, the non-negotiable that I have, is if it doesn't feel right, I stay away from it. And this is something that has been such a strong lesson in my life that I learned not to trust my own instincts anymore, my own feelings anymore, but to trust what I was told by the outside world and how you should be and what's expected of you. But I have such a strong inner compass, and now I dare to say no, or I dare to change whatever needs to change if I feel something's off. And even if I can't point what it is, if I can't point out, okay, this is the problem, but if I feel or if I get guidance like, hey, be aware there's something wrong there, I just let it go. And then quite often later on I can see why I did that, but sometimes it takes a year or 2 years. But then I get like a confirmation, like, okay, you remember that time that you felt blah, blah, blah? This is why. And then I can see it and I'm like, okay, that for me is, yeah, I'm listening to my inner compass no matter what.
Yeah, and then me personally, that's something that I'm much more conscious of now is, despite again what family pressures from friends, society, I've learnt to trust that instinct, that inner guidance. And, sometimes you don't know what the outcome is if you don't trust it, but other times where I've been in direct violation to that guidance. And then I've thought, you have no one to blame, you went against your guidance. So, yeah, I definitely, that's one for me as well. The Akashic Records. When did you start channeling the Akashic Records? And how do you describe the Akashic Records?
So the Akasha or the Akashic Records came to me, I think it's about 3 years back now, maybe even already four. I did a little mushroom journey by myself. I connected with mushrooms, did a journey on magic mushrooms with the intention of finding out what am I supposed to be doing here. And I got a very clear vision of myself sitting with kind of antennae up into the clouds, receiving information and me sharing that with one person sitting in front of me. And I knew in that moment, this is the Akasha, even though I never had connected with the Akasha before. I once had an Akashic Records reading from someone else, but seeing that, feeling that, I knew, okay, this is the Akasha. So when I came out of my trip, I tried to find someone that could teach me how to connect with the Akasha like right away. But that didn't happen. And if I want something, I want it now. So I found a book actually that describes, it's called How to Read the Akashic Records. I read that book, took myself through the practices. And the first time I opened my own Akasha, I was literally crying because I felt home. I'm like, this is what I know. And this is so familiar to me. And this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And for me, the Akasha, it's always described as a library where the book of your soul is stored, where all the information of your soul from this lifetime, past lifetimes, even future lifetimes is stored, and you can connect with the Akasha and get that information. I know for some people that do Akashic record readings, they actually see themselves enter a library and then go there. That was for me the case the first time, but now it's a way of channeling still. It's still a connecting with the field of wisdom that is there. But I am not a direct voice channel when I connect with the Akasha. For me, when I connect with the Akasha, I get mostly physical sensations, or I just know things about what's going on with the person that is asking me questions. So if I do a reading, I have a little interview with the person that I'm reading for. There's 3 questions that they can ask me. I make sure that I know what they want to know with those questions. And then I say the opening prayer with how you connect with the Akasha. And then kind of the moment I start tuning in, I start feeling things in my body. I start getting ideas. And the more I go into those sensations, the more I start describing what I'm feeling, the more information comes with it. And from there, there's just this knowing that flows through me with information that is useful for the person receiving. And with the Akasha, it's information as well as healing. By understanding what's going on in certain parts of your life, those parts can be healed. So if there's something that's still there from a past lifetime, and you hear now on this level that it's not from this lifetime, but it has to do with something that has been in a past lifetime or has happened to you in a past lifetime, it's almost as if that can be like brought back to that past lifetime and it's disconnected from here. So that heals the whole topic in this lifetime as well. As well as you can kind of ask the guides from the Akasha to assist with healing in whatever is shown in that moment.
Are you seeing or feeling or translating something that's just pertinent to that person at the time? Because if it's sort of the book on their soul, so to speak, then there's infinite lives in there. And so is it that you're picking up on just an energy pattern that's playing out, or a particular theme that's playing out that's affecting their current life? Let's say you were to do an Akashic record reading for the same person every so often, you might see a different past life connection at different readings. Is that what tends to happen?
Yeah, I never do past life readings just for fun. Like sometimes people just want to know, oh, what are my past lifetimes and what happened in them. And I refuse that. I'm happy to help you with things that are showing up in this life. And if there's a past life related to what's showing up now, it will come up. But I'm not going through your past life to see what you have done or what you've experienced or how many past lifetimes you've had. If that's not, if it's just for like, oh, it's fun to know. Because I feel that the guidance that comes from it, the wisdom that you can get from the Akasha is much more valuable if you can actually do something with it in the here and now.
Have you ever channeled something or seen something that's scared you and or you haven't wanted to share with your client?
I don't really get to see things that I'm not supposed to share. Sometimes I get a hunch or I know like, okay, I can share this and it's going in that direction, but they're never showing me something that I'm not supposed to share because that would just confuse me. Sometimes I've had, and this is funny because I've always said that I don't really believe in the darkness or in bad things, but I have seen like people being affected by voodoo and stuff, or really that I could see in their energy that other people have been playing with their energy, and there were like things stuck in their energy, consciously put there by others to affect them, which for me still feels weird when I talk about it. So that
Mm.
is a weird thing to see. Um, Not really scary, not like that I was shocked by it, but more like surprised. Um, Never had anything that I didn't want to share. I always say to people, I don't channel or do readings about life or death. So I'm not looking into if you will get pregnant or if you're going to become a mom or like birth things. I stay away from that. And I'm not looking into illnesses and death related things because I feel that's part of life, and I stay away from those questions.
Mhm.
And there's one time that I channeled for myself that I actually got an answer that, that I didn't want. Maybe it happened more often, but I asked my guys like, okay, I'm feeling really stuck in life, and what do I need to do? Just tell me anything and I'll do it. And then they told me that it was time to end my relationship that I had back then. And I was like, no, anything, anything except that. And it was
Nothing
like, no,
else.
but this is it. Like this is why you're losing your energy here, and you're losing your
Mm.
energy there, and that's why you can't use it anywhere else. So it took me some time, but I did take them up on the information, and I did end my relationship back then. And looking back, that was the right decision, but it was a difficult one.
Mm. And you had to make it in your own time.
Yes, yes, I
And
knew on some level, but yeah, it took me some time to actually act on it.
and how over time have your family and friends responded to you being a channel? Because you're very open with what you share as well on Instagram, so you're quite public
Mhm.
about what you do, which is great. Great for us.
Thank you. Family have all been really, really supportive. I'm very lucky that my parents were completely open to everything that I was discovering, even when I wanted to change my name because Ankana is not the name that my parents had given me. They were like, okay, if that makes you happy, then go for it, and we'll support that. And I even started using Ankana instead of Sandra, which was the name that they gave to me. Most of my like my sisters and uncle and aunts, they're all completely okay with what I do. I have lost friends over the years through what I do. People that actually told me that I've lost it completely, that I belong in a mental institution, that I am completely crazy, that I'm part of a sect, and all that kind of stuff. And for me, it just really showed me the people that I do resonate with still, and that I don't anymore. And it's been hard. I've literally lost a few people that I thought were really close to me, and that actually themselves have seen spirits and know that there's more out there. But then when I decided to change my name, they were like, "No, this is the limit, and now you're off." And that was the end of the friendship. Yeah,
Mm. Can imagine that would have been painful for you. And I hear that quite frequently. People say it's a good sifting out of people who are going to be there and the ones that, yeah, they don't resonate and maybe
I got
never
a lot
will
of
in this
amazing
lifetime.
people back for it. There's
Hmm.
been old friends that have come back over the years, and even people that back in the days maybe didn't really understand what I was doing and now come back for advice because they are now starting to open up and see more and feel more, and they're like, oh, this is the person that we can talk to. And moving to Ibiza for me was finally realizing that I'm not the weird one out and that there's a lot more weird people out there. And that really, really helped me in coming back to myself and trusting everything that I was sensing and seeing and experiencing, because it was accepted and normal almost.
Yeah, very accepted here. You're in definitely in the right community. So, Ankana, would you feel comfortable doing a transmission now? And if you are, do you know who will come through to
No,
speak?
I never know in advance.
Right. Okay.
Now, so
Would
do
you feel
you
comfortable?
do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Shall I share it with you now?
Yes, please.
So my question is, well, aside from I'd like to know who they are
Hmm.
and what their, I guess, passion and purpose is for coming through. But I would really like to understand their way of explaining consciousness and, I guess, our place within consciousness.
Okay. All right. So what I'll do, I'm just going to guide myself through a few steps and see what wants to come through. I do need to drink a bit more before I can.
Yeah. Can
And
I
then,
ask a follow-up question as well, or is it
yeah,
just one question?
no, you can
Yeah.
ask.
Okay.
Once I'm in there, you can ask me, ask me more, um, or ask them more. Just see what wants to come through. So I'm just gonna take a connect and see who wants to come through. My heart's in love and gratitude. I ask for the highest possible guidance to flow through me now. We are here, we are here, we are here, we are here, and we are very pleased and grateful to receive this invitation to share who we are and why we are here and our way of describing consciousness. We are a collective of beings that are here present now to share our light, share our wisdom, share our insights with all of you to assist you in broadening your understanding of what consciousness actually is, of what you actually are, of what you are part of. We go by many different names. Some would call us Council of Light, would call us just a collective consciousness, or a collective of spirit guides. We like to refer to ourselves as presence, awareness, consciousness reflected through these words. And we are not just sharing words with you while we are channeling here through this being. We are streaming our energy and our wisdom through words and silences and waves and vibrations. So you are receiving much more than just the spoken words that you are hearing through your physical ears. And then they are kind of showing me that what's coming through me now is like a radiating in all directions, in much more than just the words. There's these waves and streams and splashes of energy and of light with the words that come through, with the energy that I'm receiving. And it's like an expansion of this energy. When I allow the words to flow through, there's an expansion of this energy in all directions. So they're kind of using me, my system, my body now as a transmission um, tool, where they can put this energy through and radiate it out into the physical world. It seems that they need something like that to be able to reach more people. It seems that they need something to be able to ground that here in the physical. And they want to share more about that now. So yes, we do like the explanation of you being a transmission tool, but it goes beyond that. We are needing different beings to channel to be able to ground energies, to anchor light into your physical earth grids at this time, by opening up to channel, by allowing yourself to be a channel, by allowing yourself to transmit our words and energy and frequencies. You are not just assisting here in this moment, in this place, right here, right now. You are also assisting with the larger grid work that is being created surrounding your planet, surrounding your Earth, to assist with raising the frequency, raising the vibration of your Earth, of the people walking on Earth, and with that of humanity, consciousness as a whole. So again, it's different layers that they're pointing out, different structures that are being affected by, let's say now me channeling here and grounding in energies. But if there's then someone else channeling in a different physical place, they are also grounding that energy. And then by doing that in different places all around the world, all around the globe, there's these anchoring points of energy of light coming into the earth, which is then kind of assisting the whole thing to open up more, to receive more, more of the lighter frequencies, lighter vibrations that help with shifting consciousness to a higher level.
I would like to expand on that. So one of my next question was about Earth's precession and the period that we're in and the shift, I guess, to the new Earth. An extension of that question is about grid work. I've heard lots of people talk about grid work. Why is this happening now, or has it always happened?
You are seeing your timeline from a linear perspective from where you are now and looking back in time to your past, looking forward in time towards a future, which is not the way that we are experiencing time. Time is a concept that has been created for humans to understand their own experiences in life, while time is more. The concept of time on Earth is linear. Time itself is a concept that we don't experience in that way. But if we would, they're showing me images that it's not a starting point and an end point. There's not one straight line. It's like it's moving and changing and overlapping and coming back to a position. So there's the now is the center, and then there's outward movements forward in time and backwards in time, but the now stays kind of in a center. So there's not really a change of time. There's not really a time experience. But it's also not 100% still in time.
Mm. Yeah, it's shifting, changing, and ever evolving now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they want to say something else. it feels that there's a shift in guides. To come back to the question of consciousness and the grid on Earth and how this is happening in your current time, because of changes that have been, changes that are currently happening, there is a new layer of information, a new layer of consciousness, a new layer of frequencies that are available to human beings on Earth right now. This is the shift that so many channels talk about, so many beings share about. And the truth in there is that new layers are becoming available to you through the shifts that are happening. But these layers have always been there. There is a new awareness of them, a new reach for many of the human beings on planet Earth right now, which makes it more present. And there is more talk about it, so there is a bigger understanding of it by more people sharing in the same experience of those frequencies that always have been present.
Understood. And the grid work component, is that
We like,
tied to these layers?
so they're showing me. Sometimes I get these images, and it's so they're showing me Earth in the center, and then almost like these anchoring points that surround the Earth, and these anchoring points are assisting with the energy, with the frequencies that are being brought to Earth. And by that, those frequencies, by the vibrations that are being received through those anchor points, as well as the field that is being created by all of these anchor points, the grid work that they are talking about, it in the end shifts the experience of the middle, like that. So it's almost that where some of us are experiencing like a gradual change, at some point it just flips over to the other side, or to a higher dimension, or to a new energy, and people will just be there without, almost like they, from one day to another, there's a different experience in their being, without them consciously being aware that they've shifted. A lot of us are going consciously through that shift, and some will all of a sudden just be in the next stage without having
Right.
experienced the shift
Eh,
itself.
Do they have any knowledge or anything to say about Three Eye Atlas? In this Three Eye Atlas, which has come into our solar system, has that got a intention to help humanity awaken, or is this linked to our new Earth awakening of humanity grid work?
What you would like to call Three Eye Atlas is a part of something bigger. There is more to come. And this is the first fragment that is in exploration of communicating more directly between galaxies. So again, they show me, like, I know it's quite big what's what's flying out there, but it's like a tiny piece that they've shot forward that is now coming into our field, into our awareness, and will be visible at some point. But it's only part of something much bigger that's out there, and it's like exploration phase of how this connection can be made without blasting too much in one go, and
It's
just
like a nice stuff.
having it slow, coming in slow and gentle. um
Right.
yeah.
Almost part of it just getting us used to, interstellar communication. Yeah. Yeah. Fascinating. I got shivers. Well, goosebumps, I should say. Is there anything more they'd like to say on Three Eye Atlas? Anything that we can do to receive any of its energy
Mm.
or to tune in or benefit from?
Just repeating the question inwardly. It feels as if for some reason I'm kind of in between now, and they're not speaking directly through me, but they are giving me the words. It seems like there is not much to do. There's not much for us to work with. It's not that we need to tune into it. There is a shift happening with what is coming in, and the people that are ready to receive, the people that are ready to connect, will receive the effects, will feel what is being brought with it by themselves without the need to move towards it or to try to make anything happen. And again, it's just a start. It might seem massive from our perspective here that something like this is happening, but it's like this compared to what's coming. So don't overly focus on what's going on right now. Observe it, allow it to happen, see what happens within, and move with it in the way that you feel guided to. And this is something that they want to point out as well. There's going to be many different stories about what it is and what it's supposed to be bringing. Trust your own instincts on this one as well. Don't trust the stories that are being brought out in the media, as well as there will be several conflicting stories being brought out by different channels, by different um, messages. So allow yourself to tune into it yourself by receiving it. So it's not a conscious effort of tuning into it. Receive it and act
Hmm.
from there. Don't force yourself to feel what others say that you're supposed to be getting out of it. As as it comes in parts, it comes in shifts. And it also seems that, like, this first bit that has been shot forward is not yet for everyone. So it's also a gradual um influx of energies that they're bringing with them. um be willing to receive what comes for you, but don't go into the stories that will come out, um because it seems that there's much more to it than we are able to comprehend right now.
It's part of opening our minds up to our galactic community, by the sounds of it, and
Yes.
that's, we're not alone in the universe.
Yes, definitely not.
Like a pre
Mm.
Well, that thank you so much, to them for sharing this transmission,
Mm.
and for you, Ankara, for bringing through. Have they got any final messages they'd like to share?
Um, what I feel is like I feel the support that's behind this first little bit that they've shot forward is like this massive um support team that is coming in, and it's just really, really like bigger than we can grasp with our minds. That is literally there to lift us and to assist us in in uh lightening up in uh becoming more light within ourselves again, uh and almost leaving the density of the 3D world behind. uh and it's a time to enjoy and to embrace and to celebrate all that we are, and then all that what is coming is only opening up more of that. I'm just asking if they have anything that they still wanna say directly. We were very pleased to be present with you and to be able to share with all of you these messages and our energy that we have been streaming to you and through this channel into the earth and the grid work that with that is now radiating even more. And they're just showing these kind of these little bits shooting off in all different directions, saying that I needed to talk myself as they were doing things out there. So that's why they weren't continuously communicating through me while they were still using me or sharing through me. Um, but in the yeah in a different layer in the background. Okay, so then I'm just closing for now.
Thank you, Ankhana. Thank you for bringing through their wisdom and insights. Do you, and you have a lot of, you know, really profound messages I find on Instagram that you share. Do you have a message in your heart that you would love to share with our listeners today?
I think the most important message for me is trust yourself, trust your own inner guidance, no matter what the world tells you, no matter what everyone else claims. Trust that feeling. If you know something is not right for you, or if you know something is right for you, then go with that, because there are so many stories out there, and there's so many scientific proof for this or for that. There's so many stories in politics, there's so many stories in all sorts of things. It's not possible to know the truth from what other people tell you. It's only possible to know that from within, from staying in alignment to your own truth and your own being, and trusting that you are guided and you are supported and that you're never alone and you're not crazy.
Mhm.
And
No,
yeah, trust that what you feel is valid, and follow that.
that's a beautiful message. I love that. And my final question is, what question should I have asked you today that I didn't,
Yeah.
that you would have liked to know?
I saw that I saw when you shared your questions, and I thought, is there anything that you should have asked me? The one thing that I think it might be interesting is like, if you would ask me, do you think everything you share here is like 100% true? I wouldn't be able to say
Mhm,
yes to that, weirdly enough.
mhm,
But I really feel that, first of all, my insights change the more that I grow, the more that I explore, the more that I change my insights. I find myself believing in things now that I didn't believe in a few years back, and the other way around. As well as, I think it's so important to feel in yourself what resonates on truth to you. And we are all wired differently. We all are having a different experience here on earth. So what is true for me doesn't necessarily needs to be true for you where you are right now. And maybe
Mm,
it's some will, and maybe it will never be that way. I don't think that while being in a physical human body, we are able to have one truth that goes for all of us. I think we can only have that when we let go of the physical again, and go back to our oneness. Um, as that experience of oneness, of truth, of light, of consciousness, we can't have that here, and we can't put into words what that is. At least that's what I think. But
yeah,
that's the question. If you would ask me, do you think everything you shared is true? I can't confirm that. Yes, I've shared it from where I am now, but if it doesn't resonate with you, trust that that's not for you.
yeah, yeah. And that's my understanding of how of consciousness. Well, my limited pieces of understanding consciousness is that there are infinite truths, and you're just resonating with different truths for you at a particular time. But there's no one truth. Is also, but I think that's a great thing to finish up, and really quite profound, and helps us to keep a very open mind and not so
Mm.
fixated, because even things that we, you know, wrestle to the ground and fight to the ground saying this is true, then we do change, and many years later we can think differently. So I love that. Now, Ankana, you do a channeling course. You also do one-to-one coaching. Can you share the services you provide and how people can connect with you?
Yes, so I do Akashic Record readings, which is an hour where people can ask 3 questions, and I then connect with the Akasha and share the insights with them. I teach people how to channel themselves. So these are, if it's a live course, a weekend long course, a weekend long course is 5 sessions over a weekend. I also teach them online, and there is a recorded version coming up again. Uh, in that, I teach you how to open up to your guides and receive guidance through written and spoken channeling. And then next to that, I work with people one on one for several months to really help them to come back to themselves. And this can be people that are fairly new to their spiritual journey, or people that have been on that path for years already. It's just about that next step, that next opening, that next understanding. And because I'm able to connect with the Akasha, I can kind of get an overview of what is needed in the moment. And I'm just channeling the coaching that I'm doing. It's not me thinking about, oh, let's go into this today. It's what's coming through in the moment. And yeah, I normally work with people between 3 and 6 months, and it's just about reconnecting with yourself, coming back to your light, and really living your life in the best way possible.
Whether it's online or in person, does it make a difference in your ability to access, their records, for example, of a client?
No,
No
no,
difference.
not for the readings. And also when I give energetic healing, because you're working with energy, like time and space is something that we think is important. But
Mm.
when working with this energy, with this field, it's everywhere. So I don't need to be next to you to be able to connect with your Akasha. Um, in some ways, it can be nice if you are in the same space, and in other ways, it can also be really nice that everyone is in their own space. So you are in your own energy and you're working from there. So it's both have their ups and downs, or the pluses and minuses. But it works either way.
And is your website the best place for people to book?
Yes, my website they can book directly, so it's ankhana.com. Ankhana is with Ankhana. All information is there, or on Instagram it's at Ankhana Light Guide.
And Kana, thank you so much for the gifts that you share of the world with us and for your time today and for bringing through the Council of Light. Thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, as I always do. Thank you so much. And yeah, we appreciate you. And we look forward to following your story too and speaking to you again.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I really, really enjoyed it.